Well, welcome back, everybody. We are on episode 4 of the IQ Wi-Fi 6 series. This will be focusing on the alarm.com integration, and then if we have some time, we'll go over the installation process again. But we have a lot of information to cover. I'm going to run through the polls really quickly, and then I'll be passing this off to Adrian. I'll be co-hosting with Adrian today, but the majority is going to be him. So I'll just get these polls going. As a reminder, though, we will take it next week off. And the week after, we're going to start with a new series, a 3-episode kind of a mini series on the new IQ Hub. So the link, Joel's already dropped it in chat. So please go register for that. I think you're going to be very excited about what the new IQ Hub can bring to the plate. So here we go. We'll get these launched really quickly. So after this series on Wi-Fi 6, what is your comfort level installing a Wi-Fi network for security devices? Is it about the same, more comfortable, less comfortable? Or if you want, you can just click, please contact me for additional training, and we'll definitely have somebody from the TAM team reach out and contact you for that additional training. So that's great. 2/3 of you so far are more comfortable, which is awesome. So this is exactly why we do these, is to help bring some knowledge and maybe address some knowledge gaps. So that's awesome. So we appreciate that very much. I'm going to close that poll off quickly. We will move to the next one. Easy peasy. Does your current Wi-Fi solution offer remote management capabilities? So it's a yes and no, or you don't offer one. So yeah, about 2/3, give or take. Yep, about half of you currently have something that does offer some form of remote management, but there's a good 30% of you that are not offering a Wi-Fi solution. So hopefully we can help change that. Let me just close that one off. This is an easy one. Choose all that apply. Which IQ Wi-Fi 6 features are you most excited about? Having the dedicated security SSID and partitions, the ADC integration from a dealer installer facing, perspective, from a customer facing perspective, coverage, speed, mesh, obviously, or just the single SKU for controllers and agents. Wow. All right. So 90% of you are pumped for the alarm.com integration from the dealer installer facing standpoint, about 75% on customer facing. A lot of people are super happy about dedicated security SSIDs and the coverage. And about 1/3 of you like the single SKU. So that's great feedback. We appreciate that. So everybody looks like they voted. Let me just get this going. Last one. This one's a really tough one. There we go. Have you registered for the next series focusing on the all-new IQ Hub? The link is in the chat. All right, so about 1/3. Well, at least half of you are about to register for it, so that's awesome. But we would love to see you there next, not next week, the week after, and then we'll be doing again 3 weeks on the new IQ Hub, and then we'll be taking another week off, and then we'll be starting on IQ Pro. So IQ Pro is going to be there'll be 4 episodes or 4 sessions in the IQ Pro series, but let's, right now we're focusing on IQ Hub. So, all right, Adrian, this is off to you, my friend.
All right, thank you very much, Neil. Hi, everybody. I'm Adrian Apong. For those that don't know me, I'm the technical account manager up here in Ontario in Canada. And thank you for coming and joining us today and letting me take you through a little bit of the IQ Wi-Fi 6 and the alarm.com interface. Let's see here. All right, so getting right into it. The IQ Wi-Fi 6, purpose-built for professional security people, and a big part of why we made it is so that we don't have to constantly go back to sites where we have internet-enabled, Wi-Fi-enabled security devices on customer networks, and they're always, changing services or changing the password on their Wi-Fi, and then nothing works, and then they call. We have to go out there and fix things and all that. So trying to get around that by making something for us where we can have alarm.com integration to support it remotely, as well as other things, like Wi-Fi partitions, easy installation, IQ panel integration. We'll be able to touch on all of these things as we go about these next few slides here. So it's got great speed, good coverage, and it's meshable. So for me, in my place, we have Bell here. So for those of you guys in Canada will know Bell 5, but it's fiber internet. And on mine, the best speed I've got so far, and I think this might have even been topped, Neil, you can jump in and say if you did, but I got 980 download and 900 up is the fastest I got on my Wi-Fi connection with these guys so far. So if the channel's clear, which, there's some auto finding for that, so we can talk about that a little bit. Great speed, coverage up to 1,500 square feet per unit. So that means with a mesh of up to 8 units, we can cover a whole lot of distance, a whole lot of space with great Wi-Fi coverage all over. Okay, so one of the probably the best things about this for me is the Wi-Fi partitions, meaning that we can split the network for different SSIDs, say for your security equipment, for the customer's stuff like tablets, TVs, game consoles, that kind of thing that they want to use, and they can still have a guest partition as well. So while the customer can mess around with this stuff and change their passwords for the stuff that they use, things like that, or they can offer guests access to their internet, stuff like that, for when they're visiting. The security stuff, they don't get access to that. So we can put our stuff on there, and even if they go and mess up their password and things like that, then we're not going to get a call because the cameras are down or the IQ remotes are down. Okay, so talking about alarm.com integration specifically, we got to get started first. So when we want to get our IQ WiFi6 units, once they're up and running, but we want to get them onto alarm.com, first thing we do, locate the MAC address on the bottom of the primary IQ WiFi6. So when they say primary IQ WiFi6, they mean the controller. They mean the one that's connected to the modem or router that internet's being provided to in the house or in the business, whichever it is. And on the Wi-Fi 6, it will be connected to the WAN port of the Wi-Fi 6. So we look on the bottom of the primary unit, and then we select from Mobile Tech, we can select equipment, go to add devices, click Wi-Fi router. You're gonna click on Qolsys Wi-Fi 6, and then this is where you're gonna use that MAC address at the bottom. The easiest way to do it is if you click on the little icon, you get your camera up and it will automatically pick it up and add it in. So all you have to do at that point, give it a name, main router, main network, controller, whatever you would like to call it. And then it will save. Then you gotta wait for it. It's gonna initialize the device. This takes a little bit of time here, a couple minutes, but we have it sped up for this, obviously. And once you do that, you get all of your options for your IQ Wi-Fi under equipment list, and then you go to access points. So you can see there on the screen where they have access points, and we can see the units there. I talked a little quickly because the video was a little fast, but it's actually really simple to do. And just remember, when you see access points on the alarm.com side, that's where we're talking about the IQ Wi-Fi 6. All right. Now, when you enroll the Wi-Fi 6 into alarm.com, then automatically on the customer app, they will get a customer-oriented tab on their alarm.com app. And that way they'll be able to do things, well, we're going to cover it in a second, but it'll come up something like this on the right side here. Oh, yes. So, by the way, alarm.com, the app is available on iOS and Android, well, Google Play Store for Android devices, that kind of thing. So, we'll have flexibility on the devices you can put it on. All right. So on the dealer side, our side, we have both the dealer portal, through the website, or we can use mobile tech. And like I said before, if you go under access points and you click on there, you'll see all of your connected devices on the security network. You'll see the different networks that you have, and you'll get a whole bunch of other options for what you can do with the Wi-Fi 6. You know, trigger WPS, ping device, configure automatic upgrade, reboot mesh network, things like that that we need to have. Some of them are just convenient, like the trigger WPS. I used that the other day when I was setting up my home network, because my Wi-Fi 6 is down in the basement near my service provider modem, and I was up in the top floor, and I was getting, you know, I didn't want to run all the way downstairs to hit the WPS button. I thought, well, why don't I just try it on my alarm.com integration? So I went in there, hit trigger WPS, and then I hit the WPS button on my Wi-Fi 6 agent in my bedroom, and it connected up, no problem. So pretty cool. On the end user side of things, so on the alarm.com app that they have, you're seeing one of these slides earlier, or one of these screens earlier, you can have the share Wi-Fi icon where they can bring up the QR code for their network. And that way, if they have somebody else trying to get on their network, they can open their camera, say on their phone, and scan that, and it will allow them to easily get that device onto their network, which is pretty cool. It will show you, you know, how many devices are on your network and which devices, and you also have the guest Wi-Fi network, so you can see how many people or how many devices are in that network too. So they get some cool user control. They can also do something called setting up profiles, where they can add devices to a profile, and what that does is it allows them the end user control over who has access and when to the Wi-Fi, so their internet that way. And that way, you know, for me, like when my kids, if they're, I haven't done this to them, but I'm thinking when they're, you know, calling them for dinner and they're saying 5 more minutes, Dad, 5 more minutes, Dad, and it's been 10 minutes and I'm still waiting and they still haven't finished their game. Well, it's time to pause the internet and get everybody's attention right away. And,
I do it to my nephew all the time, Adrian, and in some ways it's kind of fun.
Oh, the power. All righty. So yeah, that's what they get on their side. And we're going to show you some more about what we can do with alarm.com from the customer portal. And Neil, if you want to do the live demo on that, that'll be pretty cool.
Yep, give me 1 sec. I'm just going to flip this over to me. All right, let's see here. Is my screen up? I don't know. I've never flipped it live before. Let's see here.
Oh, I can't tell.
There we go. Now we should be seeing. Are you seeing my screen?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, thanks, Aidan. Great job. So yeah, we'll show you a bunch of different things here that you can do. You know, obviously this is mobile tech. You know, we have the actual, you know, customer portal, and then we actually have, you know, the dealer portal as well, right? So, you know, like Adrian showed you on the dealer portal, you know, it's super easy to, you know, to go look around and, you know, and locate stuff. If you hit equipment, you know, it's going to pull up your access points. I always hate doing things live. You just never know what's going to work here. But, you know, like Adrian showed you, right? You can see, you know, what devices are on to your main controllers. You can see the signal strength of those devices. You can see, you know, the Wi-Fi network information name. So one thing people have been asking for, and we worked with our partners at alarm.com, was the ability to see what the password is, the hidden security SSID. So you can do it through mobile tech or through the dealer portal. I'm obviously not going to do this. This is actually my house, so I'm not giving you my password. Sorry. Yeah. But I can assure you it's about 20 characters long. No one's ever going to guess it. It's a very tough, like no one's guessing it, right? You can see, you know, what clients are connected, what networks they're connected to. You know, if you've already programmed it, it recognizes alarm.com devices by itself. So you can see all those different things. You can see the details on them. You know, so very, very, you know, interactive. You know, that page doesn't work yet. It will. I shouldn't have picked it. But you can see a lot of that information there, right? Now, if we go to the mobile tech side, you know, it's very, you know, very similar in the way, you know, that the things you can see. Oh, I'm going to have to re-enter my seat. Beauty of doing it live. All right, so there you go. All right, so same thing. You're going to go to your equipment tab. You'll be able to see, you know, any of your access points. You know, this very similar information. All right, so you can see the main controller. You know, you can go to that device. You know, if you wanted to, you can go to the device. You know, this is where you can change, you know, SSIDs, passwords, stuff like that. You can do that all from here. Yeah, and what, you know, Adrian showed you, right? Like triggering WPS, the pinging device, right? So you can do it directly from Mobile Tech. See that Wi-Fi network information. Again, you can see the password from Mobile Tech as well. That's just been recently added. And again, right, all the same information. You know, delete the device, you know, reboot it, delete the whole network, you know, configure upgrades. Now, what I think is really, really cool is what ADC has been able to do, you know, even, you know, from the customer website standpoint, to give, you know, so just some new flexibilities, right? So the first thing would be, you know, the wanting to move cameras. So they've made this super, super easy. So I'm going to pick my front door camera. Right, so you're gonna be able to go right to your wireless network, and this is what's really cool now, right? You have your options of access point, copy, scan, manual. So previously, most of you would not have seen access point. This only works with ADC-enabled access points or mesh networks in this case. You can see this is connected to my standard customer-facing IQ Wi-Fi address, but I want to change it. So this is how simple it is. You don't need to know the password for the security network. You know, it's very simple. You're gonna hit access point. As soon as you hit access point, it's going to pull up which access points are available on the system. Now, what you'll notice is on your main channel, so on the customer, you know, we'll call it the customer-facing public Wi-Fi channel, it's band steering. So it's 2.45, you know, it's going to pick by itself. The cool thing with the security networks is that you can actually lock it to the 2.4 or lock it to the 5, right? So in this case, you know, if you want distance, you're obviously picking 2.4. If you want speed, you're obviously picking 5. All right, so in this case, I'm just going to say I just want, you know, just move it to the 2.4. I'm going to hit continue. And it's very, you know, the ADC's done some really cool stuff here. You know, previously when you would change networks, you know, the camera would reboot and then it would take some time to come up. It's a lot quicker now. You know, it doesn't need to reboot. It just gets the new information for the access point, and you'll see this thing will refresh momentarily. And it is now on the security network directly on the 2.4 gigahertz band, and it's locked to that. Again, one of the, you know, you can even, you know, once you've learned everything to IQ Wi-Fi 6, you can just hit access point. If you actually hit the advanced options, you'll have the ability to apply it to all cameras on your account, right? So not having to do it all the time. You can just go apply these settings to all wireless cameras, and it'll move them over automatically. One of the cool things too is it doesn't have to be IQ Wi-Fi, right? So if you notice that these are on my, we'll call it my my telco network, right? We can move those cameras. So back door or front, we'll pick back door, we'll pick front doorbell. You can move those already, right? So it's showing it's on a telco network, and same thing. I'm going to hit access point. I'm going to move it over to my, you know, to my IQ Wi-Fi 6, and it just moves. It moves flawlessly. Everything just works. All right, so we'll just wait for that to quickly connect. And there was a lot of questions on some of the previous webinars regarding port forwarding and MAC address reservations, or, you know, creating, you know, reserving those IP addresses. So that's been added to the customer portal right now. And this is available through the customer website or through the app that you can just, I'm not going to wait for this. So, you know, you can just do it directly, right? So if you go to settings and manage devices, you'll be able to scroll down. You'll see, I'm like, this is why I hate doing anything live, right?
Oh, don't worry about it.
Alarm.com slow right now. Now it'll show up, right? No, of course not.
Hey, Neil, while we're waiting, can we answer a question?
Of course.
So let me find it here. I just had it, of course, as soon as I find it. Okay, here we go. I can see my main SSID and guest SSID that I set up. Is there a way to hide the security SSID from being seen?
So not currently. It is something that we're working with Alarm.com on. One of the challenges is certain devices cannot connect a hidden SSID. So it is something both Alarm.com and JCI is working on to be able to give that functionality. Great question. I asked, Adrian ironically asked me it yesterday.
That's true.
It is true. All right, anything else, Joel? Well, we're waiting. ADC is really slow today.
Adrian, I didn't catch this earlier in the beginning because I was answering questions, but Adrian mentioned something about a VLAN. There was a little confusion with that. Were you talking about partition, the internal partition?
I didn't actually mention VLAN.
Okay, maybe there was a miscommunication or someone heard something, but
no? I'm not sure exactly what the question is asking. I mean, on the partition side of things, that's I think fairly straightforward. It's just that we can separate the customer access SSID and password from our security stuff so that they can't access the security side of things. We can put our stuff on there, and the Wi-Fi 6, it does prioritize the security network devices when it needs to. So if they need bandwidth for streaming and things like that, then that will come first.
Evidently, it is not playing nice today. Alarm, my website's not playing nice. So, do we have some more questions, Joel? We've only got a couple of minutes left. Do we have more questions while we're waiting?
I don't know if I understand this abbreviation. Is there functionality for QoS for streaming and gaming, etc.? I'm not familiar with that.
Quality of service. No, currently there is not a QoS component in there. But again, something that we're definitely looking at.
I think that's one of the things about these devices, that if you know our IQ line of panels and that side of things, we do update and upgrade feature sets fairly regularly, and that's actually pretty exciting for these two, that we'll be able to continue to add in and listen to you and respond with features as we go forward with it too.
Yep. All right, Adrian, I'm going to pass this back to you. This, for whatever reason, my internet's acting up. Not my network. Something else is acting up. So I'm going to pass this back to you if you just want to quickly go through the installation process, just as a reminder for everybody.
Okay, sure.
You know, the minute I transfer it back, I'm not even kidding. The minute I transferred it back, it's here. All right, now I'm taking it back.
Okay.
That's Murphy's Law, right?
That's all you had to do in the first place.
Yeah, that's all I had to do. All right, so again, right, people were asking about the ability. You can see my screen, right, Adrian?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so people were asking about the ability, some of the different abilities from the customer website. So, obviously you can edit your Wi-Fi primary network or guest network. So you can edit the SSID, you can edit the password. You can see those devices, reboot the network. And this is, here you go, right? Here's your DHCP reservations, the ability for port forwarding, those are in there as well. As Adrian said, profiles. I love messing with my nephew on his iPad every time he's not coming upstairs for dinner. It's a quick hitting pause. But you can see, right? You can see every device that's connected. It's just the flexibility that Alarm.com and JCI have been able to provide for this, with this application is just incredible. You can see which devices have connected previously and are no longer online. Just a lot of flexibility, a lot of visibility into being able to manage these networks remotely. So I think based on that, Joel, I think we're up for questions, my friend.
Let's see. It's been tested with the ADC W110 PoE to Wi-Fi bridge. And are there any limitations?
I don't think we've specifically tested it with the 110, but I can't see there being any limitations associated to it. I used it with my the smart chime that was just announced yesterday by Alarm.com. I'm using it with my smart chime and it works perfect.
Okay, I'm getting quite a few people ask about the registration link. If you look in the chat, it should be in the chat. If you don't see it in the chat, just send me a message in the questions, and I'll drop it into the questions.
Yeah, we will be sending an e-blast out, and I'll be updating our Facebook pages later today with the link for IQ for the new IQ Hub series as well. So if anybody is not able to access that.
Yeah, we got a great question here. Can I use the IQ Wi-Fi 6 with non-Qolsys alarm panels?
Well, obviously we would prefer that you use it with a Qolsys panel, but yes, 100%. It works with, it works with any ADC enabled panel. It works with anything. You can use it as a standalone network as well. You don't even have to have the alarm.com integration. So yeah, 100%. Obviously, it works better with Qolsys panels because you do get the dashboard on the panel. That is not available with any other panel, but it will work. Yeah.
And I'm getting people dropping in the chat that they've actually tested the W110 and W100, and they work perfect with the Wi-Fi 6.
I'm not surprised.
Excellent.
Anything else, Joel?
Most of the questions were about other things early on. Everyone's getting this pretty good. Let's see.
We're super excited with the alarm.com integration. It's just that flexibility and being able to move things so easily and move all those cameras at the same time. The good thing too is the Qolsys devices, so IQ panels, IQ remotes, automatically move to the security SSID. You don't have to move them. As soon as you learn them onto the network, it recognizes it as an IQ device and it moves it automatically to the security network. You look like you've been busy in chat over there, Joe.
Yeah, I am. I'm sorry. They're starting to pile in now.
I'm saying sorry. I'm normally the one.
I know I've asked this the last. I feel like every webinar we have, but this is again probably the hottest question we have is when can dealers see this?
We're literally talking imminent. Like I'd say in the next. To be safe, I'd say it's the next 3 weeks, right? So we're planning a September launch. Distribution has already received a bulletin, so they're already pre-ordering them. But it'll be very late September, very early October. But I'd say we're pretty imminent, right? We're on the last build. We're in regression testing with alarm.com already. And everybody's again very happy with the results so far.
Round the third.
Who's saying around the third?
No, I would say we're rounding third.
Oh.
Yeah.
On the way home.
I'm trying to see if I can help you with any questions here.
Oh, good. Jordan wants to know if there's any more beta testing opportunities.
Well, Jordan, you know how to find me. So, yeah, Jordan. Yeah, I know Jordan. Jordan, reach out. I'll happily get some of you too. Right. I think you've been using IQ Wi-Fi, so it'd be great for you to get your feedback. What else do we got? What sort of range are you getting from the Smart Time for customers that don't want to fully jump? Jordan, we're not here to talk about Smart Time, but range is actually really good. It works very, very well, and it times all of the ADC doorbells, not just the wireless one. It times all of them. It's pretty impressive, actually. All right. Well, I think we've got all the questions. So, again, there will be an after workshop survey. Again, I'll apologize for the hiccups when we do stuff live. That's why I don't like doing it live, but it's always the best to show how it works. And we hope everybody has a great rest of their day, and we will see you hopefully all for the IQ Hub sessions in not next week, the week after. So starting the 22nd of September, it'll be free sessions. So looking forward to it, and everybody have a great rest of your day.
Thanks a lot, everyone. See you soon.